Yes, welcome everybody. We are ready to go. Good to be with you, everybody. I am Shaun Starr in the aftermath of the Montreal Canadiens doing their thing. And yeah, good to be with you, everybody. Nice to be seen. Good to be with you after the Montreal Canadiens' longest winning streak of the year has come and gone. And they lose in Columbus in a shootout in a 5-4 final. Not literally a shootout, but you know what I mean. A nice back and forth. So I want to get good to be seen and good to be with you. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to one and all. And thanks as always for the ongoing support of the Shaun Starr Show right here on YouTube, where you can hit the like and subscribe button, and we can pretty much be together for the course of the Montreal Canadiens season. And we have lots to get to today, as I mentioned off the top. Lots of things happening here, right? Between what's going on here on YouTube, what's going on outside of YouTube here, including the ShaunStarShow.com. And as always, you can kind of keep in touch with the program. You can join the channel for less than $3 a month. Private members-only video chat rooms. You can be an all-star. You can be a franchise player. Sanka sets, private Zoom parties, of course, for the members. And looking forward to having you with us here on the Shaun Starr Show. So lots to get to. And let's get into the Montreal Canadiens and the Columbus Blue Jackets from yesterday, where it was an interesting game where Columbus got things going nice and early back in his hockey game. And I suppose it's a natural thing, right? When you're playing well, you're on the road, you've won 3 in a row, you establish your longest winning streak of the season. Dmitry Voronka got it going, and then Ken Johnson with his 10th of the season. And then we saw David Savard from Cole Caulfield to Nick Suzuki, as the Montreal Canadiens' better players have been their better players. And speaking of that, welcome Lane Hudson, who remains red hot, second in rookie scoring. They're a tough team. Columbus is a tough team to play against. So that was Hudson's second of the year, cut the deficit to just a goal. Juraj Slafkovsky picks up his 15th assist of the season. Cole Caulfield on 2 points, assisting on Lane Hudson's second goal of the year. And the Canadiens weren't done. Montreal showed a lot of pushback. Finish for Jake Evans, unquestionable, right? And certainly we can talk about Jake Evans' season, where he is on the Montreal Canadiens, the value that Jake Evans continues to bring. And listen, I don't want to be the biggest I told you so guy here, but Jake Evans, 4th on team scoring. Jake Evans scoring elite-level shorthanded player. And the Montreal Canadiens are in a spot with this guy. Like, I honestly, I don't know how the Canadiens handling this guy is full stop feeling it. And, like, he wasn't done there. Like, Jake Evans was having a day. How about the feed to Joel turn to Yoel Armia, who brings it home, and the Canadiens' depth players have been their most consistent performers all season. And, like, I understand that Jake Evans has been a hot-button issue. He's been a hot-button issue from the jump. And I'll repeat myself. Jake Evans' future contract models showed that this guy was looking at future earnings between $3 and $3.5 million a season. And then the season began, right? And he doesn't stop scoring. And he doesn't stop producing. He doesn't stop being a pain in the butt to play against. And, you know, knowing what Jake Evans has been doing, the man is on pace for over 50 points. The man is on pace for a massive payday for the Montreal Canadiens. And when we're talking about a depth-level player, talking about over 50-point season at 28 years of age as a pending unrestricted free agent, like, how much money do you think Jake Evans, my friends, is going to get if the Canadiens aren't able to move this guy? Like, he's having a year. He is having that typical, stereotypical, pending, unrestricted free agent type of season. That, there is no doubt. And what happens between now and the March 7th trade deadline? He's 4th in team scoring. He's got 8 goals. He's got 21 points. And yeah, we'll talk about Lane Hudson and his 26 points after 34 games, and where is he in the rookie race? Because he's having a year. The comments are coming in. There seems to be some echo. Confidence is a powerful drug. Echo, 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 echo. Yeah. So it looks like the problems don't stop. You know what I think it might be? Let me see if this does it here. Let me get rid of that. See if this helps. You let me know in the chat if this changes things as far as the echo is concerned. If we can get him at 3-4 million per season, I'm in, says Jay. Here's the problem, Jay and others that look at Jake Evans and the fact that he's on 51 points. Let's okay. I want to bring this up here for a second. Let's bring up Jake Evans' season. Okay, look at these numbers here. Jake Evans is on 8 goals and 21 points. He's a plus player. He's a disciplined, playing almost 16 minutes a night. Almost 16 minutes a night, and has 2 shorthanded goals and a shooting percentage over 26%. Jake Evans, my friends, is on a year. And I don't think, and I'm going to repeat myself, the Montreal Canadiens don't. Echo is gone. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate the update on that. So here's the thing. I don't believe the Montreal Canadiens are in the Jake Evans business today. And listen, it's a crap reality to be in. It's a crap reality to be in that the Montreal Canadiens are not in the Jake Evans business. The timing just isn't right. Here's the money question. Here's the money question. How far along are the Canadiens from contending? Where are they? 2 years? 3 years? Maybe longer? You tell me. Because Jake Evans at 28 years old, as a pending unrestricted free agent on a team that has Oliver Kapanen, a team that has Owen Beck, an organization that has Michael Hage on the come up, I don't know if Jake Evans is going to take that buffer contract. I don't know if Jake Evans is going to take a 3-year, $12 million contract. Maybe he would, because in that world, maybe he can double dip as an unrestricted free agent. But in the here and now, I mean, he's looking at a payday. You ready for this? Jake Evans is looking at a payday of $4 to $4.5 million. Evans is bringing it lately, says Jay. No doubt. Confidence is a powerful drug, and Jake Evans is feeling it. J776, what's up? Athanasios Echoes is gone. Thank you. Joe Boozer in the chat today. He had many concussions. That's why he will regress. And I want to talk, obviously, about Patrick Laine. I see some people are starting to fight with each other in the chat. Let's keep it on the even keel. Let's keep it friendly here. Obviously, one of the bigger takeaways from last night, the fact that, yes, the Canadiens lose in a 5-4 final, the fact that their longest winning streak has come and gone. And listen, I'm a little disappointed. That timing is everything in life. We're talking about Jake Evans. David Savard is another pending unrestricted free agent. And the Canadiens have 4 of those guys. We tackled 2 of them. The other 2 are Joel Armia, and the other is Christian Dvorak. Joel Armia, optionally productive for Martin St. Louis' team. And I don't know how Ken Hughes navigates this, but what I can tell you is this. The Montreal Canadiens, my friends, are open to making some trades. And we're currently here on this 24th of December. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to each and every one of you. Thanks for the support all Habs season long. We'll continue into the new year. That there is no doubt. But Ken Hughes is open for business. We saw one transaction, Justin Barron for Alex Carrier last week before the NHL roster freeze hit us on Friday morning. And Ken Hughes, once again, is looking at other options. And the timing, my friends, is very, very good. Whether it's Joel Armia, a productive David Savard, who was a 3rd star with a goal and an assist, a 2-point night for old man Savard, that there is some value. And I have a feeling that if Ken Hughes is looking to extract on that value, looking to maximize on what his players have been doing, I'm not so sure Ken Hughes right now is looking at getting picks. I think Ken Hughes is looking at more of the versions of Alex Carrier, looking at more versions of the Alex Newhooks. I don't think there's a Kirby Dach that can be had. Capo Caco got traded, and that to me spoke volumes. Jeff Gorton was instrumental in rebuilding that New York Ranger team, and he said thanks but no thanks, and I'm not so sure if there even was a conversation between Montreal and New York as it related to Caco, but
Jeff Gorton was instrumental in who the Rangers became, and now look what they're doing. I have chosen to connect the dots there. So the Montreal Canadiens have picks, and they have players, older players, who are performing. And so it's fascinating to see what happens with Jake Evans' value, what happens with Yoel Armia and David Savard. I think David Savard is the next one to go. David Savard will be the next player that Ken Hughes is going to move because, look, here's what's happening with the Laval Rocket. The Laval Rocket are starting to play a lot better. Okay, so let's take a look at the Laval Rocket for a second and realize what they're doing. Logan Mayu has regressed a little bit. They're coming off a 3-1 win over Springfield. They got by Belleville in a 2-1 final. They beat up on Bridgeport in a 6-2 final, so they've won 3 in a row after struggling against Rochester and Hartford. And, they had kind of slipped a little bit, but they are back atop the North Division in the American Hockey League standings. But Logan Mayu has been more or less taken off the first wave of the power play for Pascal Vincent, as it looks like the long pro season is a turbulent one, and it takes some time to overcome some of those hurdles. And Logan Mayu, I believe, is going to be the next Montreal Canadian player to get a call-up. I think Logan Mayu will be the next Montreal Canadian player to get an audition after what we saw in the first 33 games of the Canadian season, right? Arbor Jacki, Jaden Struble, Justin Barron. Justin Barron clearly on the outside looking in, didn't pass the audition. He gets moved for Alex Carrier, and Ken Hughes and Jeff Gorton move on. And I think Logan Mayu will get a call-up, and I think David Savard will likely be the next guy to go, as Ken Hughes and the Montreal Canadiens front office, my friends, is open to making a trade. As the chat continues, Costa, Tikani Sere? Merry Christmas, everyone, and a glorious Happy New Year. Isn't it great? Isn't it fun to be around family and friends during the holiday season? And just relax, take a break off of work, enjoy some good food, some good company, watch some hockey, watch some sports. World Juniors, of course, right around the corner, and we'll be here all tournament long. And don't forget, as always, our membership options are fully available. If that's something that you want to take a look at, you can join the program. I will have exclusive content to members and members only, starting for less than $3 a month. So you can have a look at exclusive chat groups, exclusive content, live video, exclusive to members only. So that's coming in the not too distant future. You can have a look again at my bio if you go to the Shaun Starr Show on YouTube. Hit the link section and you will find that there. More chat coming in today. Thank you, everybody. Armia and Anderson will stay in Montreal. I find that fascinating. I think Josh Anderson has become a completely different looking player. Anderson on 6 goals and 13 points through 34 games, playing 14 minutes a night. Like, Josh Anderson has been tasked with just being a more simpler NHL player, where he doesn't have to be relied upon to score goals, like skate fast, work hard, and make things happen. As the Canadiens' longest losing streak comes to a crashing halt, losing in Columbus in a 5-4 final. I gotta mention here, I'm a bit disappointed. In the loss to Columbus, because we saw Sam Montembeault get the start and goal. Sam Montembeault has played like 10 games in a row. We know that the organization doesn't feel confident, obviously, with a guy like Caden Primo, because the last time we saw Caden Primo play was the Centennial game in Boston, and it's been the Monty show ever since. And Montembeault has appeared in what? 28 of the Canadiens' 34 games. Like, hold my beer, Marty Brodeur. Welcome to the Sam Montembeault show. And so it speaks volumes. So if Ken Hughes is open to making a transaction, I have to believe, looking at the goaltending situation and the goaltending environment, is something logically that Ken Hughes is going to have to address, because it's not going to be very easy for Sam Montembeault, and he shouldn't play 20 games in a row. It's crazy to me that the Montreal Canadiens have gone from a 3-goalie system to a 1-goalie system. They've gone to a 1-goalie system. Like we're playing hockey in 1996 again. And that's why, I started this off by talking about Sam Montembeault. Sam Montembeault is the man, full stop. Sam Montembeault is the man. From the journey of him getting into the NHL to becoming a waiver claim, to becoming one of 3 goaltenders named to Team Canada's national roster for the upcoming Four Nations Cup. tip of the cap, fist bump, respect to Sam Montembeault for a tough journey, a tough path to the point where he's at now. And it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal to see him. He should be very proud. Look at all the chats coming in. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this conversation on this Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, everybody. Lots of more comments coming in. Thanks for keeping up with your commentary during the Christmas break. My pleasure. Listen, it's fun to do, and I started this at 10 o'clock this morning. 10 o'clock. It's great. Like I'm wearing my Many Faces of Dwight Schrute shirt today. I'm at home. The wife, the dogs in the other room. Life is great, grand, wonderful. Didn't have to get up at 3:30 in the morning. So yeah, you can expect more of this live commentary. And listen, things are happening at breakneck speed at the Shaun Starr Show. New merch is coming. Coffee cups, some cool hats. That design, we had some meetings over the last couple of weeks, so that's coming. So we can add to what is already growing in terms of this page right here that you're looking at right now. With T-shirts and hoodies, men and women's designs. Inventory was flying over the last couple of weeks during the holiday break, and I think there's a couple of shirts left. I think there's one unisex hoodie left in a size large, and a couple of female V-neck garments that are up for grabs. But coffee mugs, hats are coming, so lots of fun and exciting stuff here. And further to that, more of your comments. So yeah, we're not going anywhere. We're having lots of fun doing this, right? Rick Spaghetti. Merry Christmas, Rick. Rick was one of those lucky guys that I met over the holiday break who went to the Shaun Starr Superstore at the ShaunStarShow.com and picked up a T-shirt. I still think Montreal should extend Savard $1.5 million on a 1-year deal. Listen, the problem with that is, I think it's also falling into the same category, really, with Jake Evans. I look at David Savard and I look at Jake Evans. What about the timing? Is the timing right? Is the timing right for David Savard, who's a team that started well, started strong? Is the timing right? That's the question. Is the timing right? Let me know in the comments right now. Do you believe the timing is right to keep Jake Evans on a 3 to 5 year commitment at 28? Is the timing right for David Savard to keep him even on a 1-year deal? Even on a 1-year deal, right? Arbor Jack guy looks good. Jaden Struble, in and out. Getting better, I believe. They made up their minds on Justin Barron. When's David Reinbacher going to play? Obviously not this year. So Reinbacher is going to be here next year. What about Logan Mayu? Another guy on the right side who brings exceptional toughness. The guy can throw fists. The guy can skate. The guy's not afraid to be confident with his offense. So that's what I mean. I'm not talking about what about. It's a logistical, turbulent, confusing time for Ken Hughes and Jeff Gorton and their upper management in Montreal to determine how to fit everybody into the puzzle and make sure you make the right educated decision on making sure guys get reps, guys get time, so you can make that educated decision, right? So I just don't think the timing, my friends, the timing is all that great. And that brings us to Lane Hudson. We could talk about, and Yoel Armia points to Hudson. Hudson points to Armia because Hudson, I believe, purposely threw the puck with the intention of having it deflected by Yoel Armia. And then Armia points to Hudson because he knew he didn't touch it. Kent Johnson from CBJ was the guy to touch it. And Lane Hudson gets credit, as the replay showed, with his second of the year. Lane Hudson, second in rookie scoring. Lane Hudson is having a year, my friends, and you don't need me on YouTube to tell you that. He's playing 22 and a half minutes per night. He's on 26 points through 34 games. I do not believe Matvei Michkov had a point in the Flyers' loss. I think they lost, 7-3 to Pittsburgh yesterday, and I do not believe he had a point. So Hudson is right on the heels. Macklin Celebrini having a very good year. He's on 11 points. He's on 11 goals, Celebrini with San Jose. But Lane Hudson should be the guy that right now, I think he's my rookie of the year in the National Hockey League. Playing 22 and a half minutes, playing 22 and a half minutes on a not great team, playing 22 and a half minutes, and being the player that is moving up the priority ladder of playing on the first wave of the power play. So yeah, it's phenomenal to see what's happened to Lane Hudson and the point total that he's putting up right now. The chat continues to come in. Rick Smorgetti, that's why I want to sign Savard to that kind of money. At worst, he's the Habs' seventh defenseman. Interesting perspective. Like, I can understand that you could never have too many defensemen. I get it. Injuries are going to happen. You want to have people that you trust. I think that's why the Canadiens moved away from Justin Barron. I think they trust the consistency and the professionalism that Alex Carrier brings. And you see that. You see that a little bit. And then ultimately, trust is a big thing. Trust is a massive thing, Rick. You're not wrong about that. Trust is a very big thing. It's why Sam Montembeault plays all the time. It's why Caden Primo doesn't play. Dominic Laporte, 4 years. 4 years for what? For Jake Evans? 32 years old? The rub with Jake Evans is this, right? Like, if you're Jake Evans, do you want to roll? Do you want to have a defined role? Right? So hear me out for a second. If you're Jake Evans and you decide that you're going to take, I'm going to throw out a hypothetical, 4 years, $16 million. Okay? Ken Hughes goes to Jake Evans' representation and goes, here's Evans, here's 4 years and $16 million. Do you want the deal? And Jake Evans, for whatever reason, says, yes, I'm going to take that deal. Okay? With that certainty, maybe he leaves money on the table. Okay? Maybe someone is going to offer him 6 years, $4 million, $24 million. Okay? And I'm here offering you 16. Maybe he leaves $8 million on the table in this hypothetical I've created. Okay? So the hypothetical, Evans agrees to a 4-year, $16 million contract with the Montreal Canadiens. But he knows that he is going to have a predominant role with the team. That even with Michael Hage coming and Kapanen coming and Owen Beck coming, that Jake Evans is still going to be shorthanded player number one, still going to be playing hard checking line roles, still believes that he's going to get his minutes, right? Like, when we look at Jake Evans playing just under 16 minutes per night. But the other side of that coin in this hypothetical is, what if he goes for the money? He goes for the 4 years at $6 million per year and $24 million, right? What if he does that and says no to the Canadian $16 million contract and goes for the bag? But now, in this hypothetical, maybe it's a better team. It's a deeper team, a team that's ready to contend. And now his role is what? Uncertainty. Uncertainty. And that, my friends, is, I think, something he has to weigh with his wife, with his parents, with the people close to him. What is a higher priority for Jake Evans? Is it getting financial generational security? Or is it still getting paid, leaving money on the table, but having a very defined role with the team that you've known your entire career? I think that is an issue that the Evans clan is going to have to look at all the angles for. And if he wants to leave money on the table, I will tell you this, I have space. I have space for Jake Evans on the Montreal Canadiens. I do. More comments coming in. No Fowler coming in now. Fowler's not ready. Here's what I think happens with Jacob Fowler, Dominic. Dominic Laporte, thank you for the comment today. Here's what I think happens with Jacob Fowler. Okay? The Jakub Dobeš groin injury, I think, derailed some of the Montreal Canadiens' plans, right? The Laval Rocket, number one goaltender, Laval has won 3 in a row. Beat Bridgeport, they beat Belleville, and on Sunday, they beat Springfield in a 3-1 final. So it looks like Laval is slowly back on track. But what derailed the goaltending situation in Montreal was the Jakub Dobeš groin injury. And if Dobeš hadn't been dealt with that injury, I'm pretty confident when I tell you that Dobeš would have gotten maybe a spot start with the Montreal Canadiens. I could have seen Dobeš playing Tuesday against Buffalo because Laval is around. They were in between games, short metro ride. You can bring them up and then send them right back down. But that's not what happened. And it was Connor Hughes playing the entire game, making 16 saves on 17 shots as Laval beat the Springfield Thunderbirds in a 3-1 final. So the Dobesh groin injury definitely hurt. It's why Caden Primo doesn't play. He's not good enough, doesn't practice well enough, is what we've been told. Caden Primo's practice habits are not very good. So the trustworthiness, the work ethic seems to be questionable at this point, and where the team goes from here is Sam Montembeault. That's where they go from here. But again, I'll repeat myself. If Dobish hadn't gotten hurt, I think they would have had some sort of resolution at the very minimum a look. So Dobish and Hughes will be the guys for Laval all season. And here's what's going to happen next. When Dobish gets healthy, I think he gets a spot call-up. Next year, it will be Sam Montembeault and Jakub Dobish as the 1-2 in goal. And Jacob Fowler will get a full season with Connor Hughes as his backup with the Laval Rocket. That is me looking into my crystal ball and telling you what I think is going to happen. So Dominic Laporte, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention because, again, I want to be consistent with everybody. I like Jake Evans a lot. I think teams that win Stanley Cups have guys like Jake Evans on their team. Yes, you need good veterans. We saw that with Jake Allen. We saw that with Sean Monahan. You saw that with Jonathan Kovacevic. I think that's why the Canadiens also made the Alex Carrier deal. They realized they dropped the bag with Jonathan Kovacevic. They had to fix that, and they realized Justin Barron was not the answer. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, they're done. And so, yes, you need those. But what I'm trying to really wrap my head around and dig in on is the Canadiens are rebuilding. Okay? And when you look at their games, the first 16 games, Montreal picked up 5 wins. They've been a much better, fundamentally stronger club in the last 18 games. Okay? So what I'm trying to get at is which version of the Montreal Canadiens is closer to the truth? The one we've seen in the last 18 games or the one that we saw in the first 16 games? I think it's the last 18 games. Like, they have too much talent to be that bad in the first 15 games. Something happened there. I don't know what it was, but something happened in the first 15 games. And so, the point being, they've righted those wrongs. I mean, hell, look at the Columbus game as a prime example, okay? As a prime example. Down 2-0 early in a hostile environment. Columbus is not an easy place to play. And they came back, took the lead. Couldn't close it out, losing 5-4. But they show battle. They show toughness. They show character. They show their mettle, you know? And they show that they want to play for Martin St. Louis. So I think they are closer to that version of the last 18 games that we saw. And I do think next year they can get closer to being in the mix. A lot of things need to happen, and the Canadian schedule, my friends, is very, very difficult coming up. You know, as we spoke about already. You know, the Canadiens are going to embark on a lengthy road trip. And it started in Columbus. They're going to play, 6 straight on the road, 7 of their next 8, 9 of their next 11 away from the Bell Center. So, like, I don't want to be overly dramatic, but this is more or less where the Canadian season either moves forward and they can really find themselves maybe closer to being in the mix, or this is going to be the end of their season, right? So, like, quickly here, let's transition over. Let's take a look at the Canadian schedule together. Losing 5-4 at Columbus. Saturday, 1 o'clock at Florida. Sunday, 5 p.m. at Tampa Bay. Tuesday, 3 o'clock at Vegas. Friday, 8 o'clock at Chicago. Saturday, 7 o'clock at Colorado. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's a tough one. Then they go back on the road after hosting Vancouver on Monday, Jan 6th. Then they're at Washington. Then they play at Utah, at Dallas. So, like, yes, late December into early January is going to be very, very turbulent. They have some tough teams coming up. Looking deeper into January quickly, Toronto, Rangers, Lightning again, Devils, Winnipeg, Minnesota. That's January, some of the teams in January. So, yeah, that is a mother of a schedule coming up, and we're going to see. And the Canadiens are going to need goaltender help. Big time. Big time. Look at that schedule. The Canadiens need help in goal. You can't put that all on Sam Montembeault. You can't do that. That is not fair. So they're going to have to figure out a plan pretty quick. Ken Hughes is open to making some trades. Time to start looking at your goaltender options as well down that road. That is tough. That is a tough one. Michael, let's go Devils. Yeah, Devils are a fun team, man. Devils are a fun team. J76. Domingo Hudson is a step ahead of the Calder because he's a defensive player. Yeah, that's what I agree wholeheartedly. Can we look at that Hudson goal together again? Like, holy shit. making that shot purposeful, like making sure that it's Yoel Armia with a chance at deflecting the puck. He's on what? Lane Hutson's on what? 2 goals, 23 assists. I mean, it's crazy. The season he's having, it's insanity, and it's so fun to watch. Really makes me feel like a real Habs fanboy again, watching 48 out there operate all over the place. So, Canadiens' longest losing streak comes to an end. Disappointing. Not going to lie, I was disappointed. I wanted to see the Canadiens win 4 in a row. I wanted to see them go to Columbus and beat the BJs yesterday. Question is for Shaun. No issue with any other than our lack of response on the ice. Montreal may be taking on a Florida team without Tkachuk and a Tampa Bay team without Kucherov. Happy holidays, Shaun. Thanks for all the videos. Brandon, Rick, Jay, thank you all. Thank you all to the program and for being a part of this. As always, you guys, we're a tight community, man. It's so much fun. What do you think about the whole Laine situation yesterday with his comments on CBJ being and then being pulled? Athanasios, thank you so much for that. Laine played 6 minutes yesterday. I believe Patrick Laine suffered an upper body injury after the Fabro hit in the first period and tried to come back out, but obviously couldn't. The Canadiens had him as questionable, and then he was ruled out of the game, and we didn't see him again. As far as Athanasios' point, when he talks about Columbus and Patrick Laine's comments about Columbus, that the Blue Jackets and the organization got too comfortable losing. And yes, I mean, he lived that life, right? He lived that life. And I think he comes from a very credible place. And I remember in a weird way, like, remember Max Domi's time in Montreal? He said, this is a market he was born to play in. And I believe that. I believe there are some players that need the jam of a Montreal market, of a Toronto market, of a Vancouver market. I believe there are players that exist like that need that jam. And maybe Patrick Laine is one of those guys. Like, he opens up and spoke his mind about his time in Columbus and how they were tired of losing. And yeah, he got booed. He got booed in Columbus. And I get why he got booed, And he was open. He talked about if the team are going to be upset or bitter about, what had happened there between the player and the organization. He was very nonchalant, very matter of fact when it comes to what he thought the reception was going to be like, And, he had some interesting things to say, when he talked about how he felt that Columbus got a little too comfortable, talking about the ups and downs. He didn't want to get into too much of those things. And I also like the fact that Patrick Laine took some of it himself, how he could have handled some of the situations a little bit better. Sometimes we forget that we're talking about players in the National Hockey League, that make millions, but some of these guys, like, they're early 20s, or some of them are still teenagers. They're I don't want to say children, but you know what I mean? Like, they're not full-grown 40-something-year-old adults, But right now, Montreal, Patrick Laine comes across this way. He's having the time of his life here. And what was interesting was when he talks about the frustration of losing, that there seems to be this element of complacency that has set in the Columbus market. He talked about how they're satisfied, maybe comfortable, how it wasn't a fit, and how in Montreal it doesn't matter if the team is winning or losing, that the attitude is significant, that they're always trying, and how he felt about Columbus was just not that. And so, like, what are we talking about here? Like, I always want players to be honest. I hope you do too as a fan. Like, nobody wants cliche BS all the time. And if he's going to tell the market about, listen, what do we think about Buffalo? Like, you're not pulling the wool over your eyes when you talk about Buffalo, man, they're a model organization. No, they're not a model organization. They're a model organization to not be like. And if Columbus doesn't have the passion or the impression Laine gets that they're complacent and comfortable with their lot in life, then I believe Patrick Laine. Like, he lives that life. Like, what does he have to gain by lying? Even if the team did him a little dirty, I'm not saying they did, but what if they did? I like honesty, and Patrick Laine comes across as a very honest guy to me. I love it. Um, and yeah, he played 6 minutes. Upper body injury is what the team had said. And so the thing with Patrick Laine, with all his goals and the power play and everything else, um, you want Patrick Laine to stay healthy. Scoring goals is great. It's a huge, huge bonus, a huge plus. But you want to see the guy get reps. You want to see him stay healthy. And I thought I saw, even yesterday, I think it was his second shift, he took the puck along the half wall, gained zone entry, and looked faster. Like, he looked faster to me. So it's going to take, it obviously takes time to get your sea legs back. But he needs to stay healthy first and foremost. And then see what he can do in a full, kind of year where not only is his body healthy, but his mind is healthy. Domingo, I have subscribed to your channel. Well, geez, it looks like Christmas has come early. Christmas has come early. You guys are just the best. Thank you so much. Jay, I love having Lonnie on my team. Line A is where's that? Line A is a bad team player. I mean, I don't see that. I mean, I really don't see that. I don't at all. I see a very honest, sometimes too honest player. I see a player that is embracing Montreal, that is perhaps taken aback by all the love that Montrealers have shown him. But that's what we do here to our players that show some passion, that need a pick-me-up. Montreal and the Canadiens fan base is exceptional at picking up players, and I love it. But I just don't get that read. Maybe Michael knows Laine more than I do. I see a guy that's embracing the culture. I see a guy that's embracing his teammates. I see a guy that's embracing the organization and how they've treated him. I see nothing but positives, but maybe your read's a little different than mine. So that'll do it for today. Montreal Canadiens' longest losing streak of the season is over, losing in Columbus in a 5-4 final. Thank you, everybody, for all your comments and your contributions. We will take Christmas Day off. We will be back with a new video on Boxing Day. We'll talk about Martin St. Louis' future as a Montreal Canadiens coach. How do you guys feel about Martin St. Louis, the future coach, like 2 years from now? Do you see it? Do you see MSL behind the bench 2 years from now? I want to talk about whether or not you buy what Martin St. Louis is selling. Are you worried about any potential red flags with MSL? And so that's coming this week. More on Jake Evans' incredible year also coming this week. So enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy your pets, enjoy your couch, enjoy your refrigerator. Relax. Don't shave. Don't even listen. Don't take a shower. Don't even take a shower. Get up in the morning. Listen, I will say this: if you're with your partner, maybe you want to take a shower. Maybe take a shower before you go to bed. Hey now. But just be lazy. You have earned the right to be lazy here. And so we're going to take tomorrow off. I hope you take tomorrow off. Have a great Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you're doing. Hope you're doing it with people you love, people you can tolerate. But, family's not one of those things. Family is one of those things that is assigned to you. You don't really get to pick them. So I guess there is a certain element of tolerating family. Just be patient, everybody. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Be kind to each other, and we'll see you on Boxing Day, okay? Thanks, everyone.